guys, and welcome back to another episode of Total Control with Huesca. So, we're in a pretty good place right now, it's fair to say. Obviously, there's the friendly against Borja in here. I wish that we could, exclude that one and have the other game that we played. So I'm just going to remove this from here because it's kind of affecting this a little bit. And you can see there's still a lot of negative things about the way we've played. But when you look at the games, I think against Espanyol, I think it was a free kick that they scored. We didn't concede against Villarreal. We conceded another free kick, sort of, against Sevilla, and obviously our own poor piece of defending. And against Valladolid, it was an own goal. We're not really conceding a lot of actual goals that teams are cutting us apart, and I genuinely think that is a really good sign. And not only that, but we've been able to score in our last 3 home matches in a row. In fact, I think it's 4. I think that's 4 home wins in a row, I think. Maybe 3. Point is, we're doing good work at the moment, and we're in a really good position. Now, 15th might be a bit false. I don't care if we finish 17th, to be honest. The main thing is that I want to make sure that we stay up. And right now, we are in a very good position to do that. Tough game today against Valencia away from home. We're going to go cautious. It's going to be a bit of a free hit, and that's fine by me. What we're really trying to prepare for is next episode against Leganes, because I think that if we can win against Leganes and go to 30 points, I'm not sure how many matches we'd have left, but we really would need only maybe a couple more victories after that. Maybe just another 5 points on the board to probably secure safety. But it does depend. There could be a huge upsurge because often teams tend to perform a bit better towards the end of the season. There's a lot of things that could still go wrong for us at this point if we were to get any more injuries, because we didn't look great against Valladolid, has to be said. I think the lack of Juanpi really is going to hinder us, and getting over the line against Valladolid was a massive moment for us. But I am concerned about how we're going to perform now that we've lost Juanpi. He's our main creative force in the team, and he's also a good source of goals too. And that, without him, I'm a bit concerned about us right now. But the point is we got through what we needed to. And something I see a lot in the comments, but particularly with this save, and I think it's because the save's moving slowly, is there's always a desire, particularly in the comment section anyway, to put drastic changes to the tactic when one game is lost or we lose a couple in a row. But it's you have to understand that we're Huesca. We're not expected to win this match. This is just, I think, probably a confluence of circumstances where we happen to have a few winnable games in a row and a couple of really good ones in there too, that the confidence just dragged us through. And I think sometimes people want to make too big changes far too often. And I think sometimes the tiniest little changes can make a huge difference in getting the best out of your team. So maybe if you're not quite going right, maybe don't change the entire system. Just find little areas where you're working well and try to amplify that and play into your strengths. And if there's a few areas where there's some weaknesses, and this is a good menu that can at least help you get on the right track with that, try to minimise the deficits. And that seems to be what's worked for us slowly over the course of the year as we've improved. The save feels like a car that doesn't want to start. Now I've got visions of Matt beating up a car with Tree Branch, Basil Fawlty style. Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Nelson Duarte from the old Wimbledon save when his car broke down, bless him, poor lad. Is that Demon Fulham shirt from the 00, what the hell? 0001 when Fulham first got promoted to the Premier League? I believe so, yes. Probably one of my favourite ever Fulham shirts. Or admittedly, the Pizza Hut one I love more, but I don't actually have one of those, which is a shame, because I like Pizza Hut and Fulham. What more do you want? I have all the confidence in the world that this team has enough to stay up, even if it gets to the final episode, and I think it could actually happen. Go Huesca. Part of me, I know this is the masochist in me, kind of wants a final day showdown just for the pure entertainment value of it. But then the rest of me goes, no, you don't want that. You want to be nice and safe, sat on the beach going to that final day game against Alaves where we can have a bloody lovely time. Maybe we'll start El Hadj Diouf up front. I also believe, I think there's some slight misconceptions about our tactic, because people keep telling me to turn off play for set pieces. Play for set pieces is not on and has never been, not never been on. But I don't think I've had that on since the very beginning of this save. It's definitely not on. And also the same applies for play out of defence. That's not something we do either. So I need to make that very clear because those aren't instructions I have on. I know that we've got the defenders distributing to the centre-backs and the full-backs. The reason I do that is because lumping balls over the top from the goalkeeper, it doesn't really work, I find. They never actually do it. Most of the time when you have them distribute over opposition defence, most of the time what they do is lump it aimlessly into the midfield. And I've just found that seems super ineffective this year on FM, so that's why I've only ever really used these. I'm hoping that FM20, the tactics are a little bit more shaken up and that I find more ways to have success, because I find that once I find something, it's difficult for me to find a new way of working things. So this is not super different to what I've done before, but we do have a slightly different approach in the way that we're playing, to be honest. It's not really a possession game, that's for sure. Right then. Pre-match, post-match press conference. Because we've not got a lot of time between now and the Valencia game. How much of an impact did your team talk have? Yes. Screw it. He's a devious boy, but we're going to go with it. Oh, well, something of a managerial masterstroke. Well, if I do say so myself, I would never say such a thing. But Ivan Perez, you are welcome to, my friend. And he's experienced and deceitful. Good lord, like a Disney villain. Although I must say, bringing on Ben Woodburn as the right winger when he literally doesn't really play there. He's a right-footed inside forward that plays on the left or up front. But bringing him on that right wing to replace Chong, we got the goal. Our two substitutes created the goal. Post-match analysis. I mean, they had one shot on target and it was a header a meaningless header in a 90th minute corner. I actually cannot believe that they didn't have a single shot until the 60th minute. What a weird old game. Luciano had a poor game, it would seem, but Juan Hernandez was decent, so I've got to say, fair play to that. Better down the right in this one, but we just kind of dominated the wings in this one. Pass completion, no surprises. Yaya Toure, 5 key passes. You know we play well when Yaya Toure comes up with the key passes. I feel like he's got to be up there on key passes for this season in this league. The amount of key passes he puts together, he's got to be up there. Chances created, Yaya Toure, 12, second highest in the league. Key passes, Yaya Toure, 59 key passes. Esheta's also had 9 key tackles this year too, which is definitely noteworthy. Oh, and can we talk about the fact that Carlos Acapo's won 88% of his headers this season? That is ridiculous, I've got to say, and that might be the reason why I've become such a fan of his for the most part, although he has made some mistakes when he's not doing that. Like scoring that own goal, where it seemed like he levitated through the air. Players have spoken about the positive atmosphere. I think that's genuinely been a huge factor in us. Sociedad 5-2 winners over Vallecano. That's a good, I guess. Come on, Levante. 0-0. Not great, but could have been worse. Okay. Handle briefing for the tactical briefing. Someone asked me, like, why are you trying to appease your players by getting the green thing? And it just didn't even occur to me that that was what I was doing, but you're kind of right in a way. Honestly, the main reason is because I don't really understand what benefits you get from these tactical briefings, so I figured green good, red bad, because I am a very simplistic person like that. So honestly, that's the reason, because I still don't understand exactly what there is to gain from the tactical briefings. I don't understand what effect it has. I've not actually seen anything that suggests what this actually does. That's the problem. So I'm just going for green must be good. But also, as you can see, Betis now move out of the relegation zone, and wow, we've got 4 teams tied on 27 points in the relegation place. We're only out of it on head-to-head at the moment. We're certainly far from safe. Valladolid are looking a bit more adrift now, because they've obviously played way more games, but it really is tough between us, Getafe, Betis and Girona. Girona dropping in for the first time this season, and I think that they might struggle to get out of it, in all honesty. They've conceded 50 goals this season and have the second worst goal difference in the league. They can't buy a victory to save their lives. I have a sneaky suspicion that they might be the final one to go down, and I think us and Betis, if we keep our form going, might finish above both Getafe and Girona at this rate. Okay, so Francis Coquelin is out for Valencia. Not sure how important he is for them. Let's just quickly see how important he is. First team, so that's not too bad. Guedes, very, very good player. Soler, good quality on the right and left wing, really. And they've very, very quick team. Not scored a lot of goals, though. And their goalkeepers aren't great either. Okay, let's sort us out first. So Malero, there's no way he can start, unfortunately. Not in his condition. Who do we go with? Do we go with Rivera or do we go with Willock? I feel like for this role, Rivera's probably our best bet. Although Musto could probably play in there as well. We're going to go with Rivera. That's fine. Acapo's keeping his place. Luisinho or Jose Angel? I'm going to put Jose Angel back in again, I think. Try him out. I know that Luisinho wasn't great, to be honest. He was one of the poorer performances against Valladolid. As for the bench, yeah, I think probably going to go with that. Mango, Walker Peters, Willock, Woodburn, Costas, Luisinho, and Gaillard. Right, what are they going to do? Looks like 4-4-2. Yes, it is. Rodrigo and Gamero. Guedes over on the left-hand side as an inverted winger, presumably with Gaillard. We know what they're going to do. Guedes cutting inside, overloading this area. Gaillard on the overlaps, particularly him. Yeah. They are weak against this system, though. It doesn't seem that they conceive any chances at all, though. Attacking, they're fluid. This is going to be difficult for us in general, I'd say. Predominantly going down the wide areas. No surprises there, really. Few key passes there. They concede through balls from outside the penalty areas with placed shots. So that does mean that we could potentially catch them in behind ourselves. Espanyol put 4 past Espanyol. Rodrigo doing an absolutely wonderful job in that game. But then again, 2 own goals in that one as well. So not the best. But again, you can see the domination of the wide areas. So they've only used 2 systems this season. Presumably this one is the one they play against bigger sides. Because look at this. They create an awful lot of chances when playing 4-4-2. Like an alarming amount. We'll see about the ones they faced. So this is the one that we play. And amazingly, when they've played lower rated teams, they've actually conceded more chances against this system than they've managed to create themselves. So this might actually put us in an interesting spot, perhaps. I don't know. Guedes is their top scorer, amazingly. So I do kind of want to press him. I actually kind of want to press, but not actually like tight mark or press these two. Just let them kind of run. Lots of red cards in the team. Torres dribbles a lot, but I don't think he's actually in the team. Gaia also with the most assists. So it's this whole side. I honestly think that it's going to be a case of pressing this left-hand side for days. I noticed that then they're playing Daniel Vash over here, which means that Soler, as far as I can tell, isn't starting. Their top, well, one of their top goal scorers anyway, is not starting today. It's going to be this left-hand side, absolute definite. I don't want to mark Guedes or Gaia because I'm worried that if we mark them, it might drag one of our players out of position. Tightly marking Guimera at all times. I guess because he's not their fast player, they're probably going to be lumping balls up to Guimera to win the knockdown. So if we can mark him, we can maybe stop him from winning those. And Asheta might be able to out-battle him in the air. So I actually can see the logic in that. Not that it matters. I feel like we're going to lose this one anyway. And it is a total free hit now. And I'm happy to say that. We just need to be in a solid position coming into some of those last fixtures because we've got Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid to play in consecutive home matches. So that's basically nailed on 2 defeats, really. So we need to make sure that we're prepared for that. What I would say is I've got an idea, and some of you talked about this in the comments as well, is that in cautious matches, we might be able to up our pressing intensity a tiny little bit just to not be quite so placid. Right then, let's have this. Away from home, at Valencia, anything we take from this game potentially would be a massive bonus to our season. It would certainly not be... There's nothing expected of the lads other than not to embarrass themselves. Like, just don't put in a horrific performance-wise. That's what I want to see. Already a yellow card. Not ideal. Please don't concede a free kick to them. Really? This is in... I actually start to think that this is just ridiculous now. Look how far away this is. And yet every time we can... Look at the goalkeepers that... They shouldn't be conceding this amount of free kicks, particularly the direct ones. I feel like we've conceded an ungodly amount of direct free kicks, which to me is just a statistical anomaly. They're so difficult to score in real life, and yet we've conceded way too many of them this year. That is insane. I don't feel there's any amount of defending free kicks that's going to affect that, because it's a direct one. Go on, lad. Rivera, go on, find a ball. Somebody. I mean, he's really got no excuse for not playing the ball out of his feet there. I don't know what he's doing. Toure. Hernandez. They definitely are offering spaces up. And Galan! Oh, he has to shoot. He has to shoot there. I think the frustrating thing is, honestly, first 11 minutes of this game, we've actually been pretty good. We look pretty confident on the ball. We look like we've got the ability to break them down in places. Galan's through again! And it's saved by Nito. I genuinely think we look like we could get something here. Parejo. They're going to keep spreading the ball out wide. We just need to make sure that we've got enough cover there to make it not quite so easy for... Oh, nearly. Oh, no. Don't let that lead to a goal. This whole play has just made my brain hurt. Watch this when we win the ball back. He's just passed it to their defender, and then the ball's crossed in. Oh my god. This is insanity. I didn't expect us to come here and get anything, don't get me wrong, but I did expect us to not do that, perhaps. That's 2 consecutive own goals for Carlos Acapo. I think we might have to start looking at him a little bit now, although admittedly that could happen to anyone, I suppose, but that one particularly. We haven't been particularly good in general. We started off, there was some promise in places, but it seems to have sort of faded away now. I think as the confidence has just oh my god, as the confidence has just completely started to drift away. I do kind of wonder if turning off hitting early crosses, like we did against Valladolid, might actually work against Valencia as well. Just maybe allow us to keep a little bit more of the ball in places. And Toure and... Oh, ours don't go in though. I think we scored 2 maybe this season, which is actually still quite a lot. Yeah, thoroughly disappointing first half there. Free kick, of course. And then an own goal, of course. Because that's now a theme, apparently. They're getting the ball up to their strikers way too easily. Number 4 and their fullbacks are getting way too much of the ball as well. Interestingly though, Guedes isn't. I'm going to have us press their strikers a little bit more heavily. I think we've kind of got to switch to being more positive here. Going to keep the early crosses off, and we are going to still press more urgently, but I think we've got to. Because at this point, with the fact that it's based on head-to-head, we just kind of need to go for this in the second half and see if we can come up with a miracle, really. We might as well. Jose Angel. Oh, Galan could pick that up. Go on, lad. Looks in behind, maybe. He's not gonna, but that's a bit more like it. Oh, dear. Well, actually, Galan still got it. Maybe when it's a corner or something. Ball in. Chong! Good start. That's better. If going down the middle might actually work for us. Because if we can focus the... Oh, my God. If we can focus the play through there and get an extra man in that central area, we might be able to break through the centre and then find the gaps out wide. I'm willing to try anything. I'm kind of using this as a bit of a testing lab now because of the situation we're currently in this match. Jose Angel with a throw come corner here. And it's flicked onto the goalkeeper. Press them even higher. Really try and force them back for the final half an hour here. I just want to see what we're capable of coming up with, and that looked like a foul to me, to be honest, but okay. Chong. And he's got it. Can he find the back post, though? He's not going to be able to, is he? Nope. That's what I mean. Chong and Juanpi, there's Oh, that's a red card. Oh, it's definitely a red card because he's already on a yellow. That's... Oh, dear. This one is, This is a storm in a teacup kind of match. It's all gone Pete Tong. Okay, so we're going to get Toure into the centre, Amadou there, and then David Costas in the defensive area. It's not too bad. I mean, obviously we've lost a player, so it is that bad. But the problem is now, we lack that extra body in the midfield. To be fair to say, it's not been a strong performance today. But then, what do you expect, really, against 5th place Valencia away from home? It would have been nice for us to have not conceded the goals in the way that we did, fair to say. A direct free kick, and then whatever that monstrosity of an own goal was. Fair enough. But we can't argue with the actual overall result. I say lumps it, but he doesn't actually lump it. Right, this is where Hernandez needs to make the run. He's through. Oh, much more like it. And quite... That's not bad either, actually. Ah, couldn't get to the second pass, though. How did they go straight through him? Soler. Goalkeeper should be coming out. Do you know what a sweeper keeper's for? That's caught out by the high line. A perfectly reasonable goal to concede. But what? It's the fact that this ball is somewhat overhit. And I feel like the goalkeeper probably could have been coming out for this. You know, the sweeper keeper. Can't really complain. I mean, that is a standard high line goal to concede kind of goal. 3-0. Also, with the fact we got 10 men isn't really helping us here, I don't suppose. But it's just one of those games, really, against a much better opposition where we just simply don't have the ability to play better than them. Because slight overload here. If he can find the right ball, and he actually has. Jose Angel. Can he put a ball in? It's going to be a corner, isn't it? Yep. I wish there was the opposite of play for set pieces, i.e. get the ball in the box. Jose Angel whips one across, and it's cleared away. And, oh dear, we've got 2-on-1 here for some reason. And I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, he's missed it anyway, like a mug, but I think it's because of the hierarchy of our set-piece takers. One of them, they're set to stay back, but when I bring on Luisinho, I think he gets pushed forward because he's supposed to take it, and I really need to look at that. Insua, back to Ivanovic. 3-0 Valencia. I mean, no complaints about the scoreline. Just one of those things. They're a top side in this division, and we can't really have come here and expected to get anything from the game. It's annoying to concede the red card, but I think he probably did the right thing in that situation, in all honesty. But the first 2 goals to concede were very, very frustrating to see another direct free kick from a very long-range one go in, and then the own goal again. No complaints about Rodrigo's goal. It's a frustrating one, but it's not like we really created anything of our own on the night that we can feel hard done by about, to be honest. I think we really just need to be preparing for that Leganes game up next, where we currently have, what is that, a 13-point lead on them as well, even though they've got 3 games in hand. But let's face it, they're going down. Still going to get in on the team, though, because they definitely deserve to know that that wasn't good enough in a lot of areas. So, where does that leave us? It leaves us with, amazingly, only 3 more away games for the rest of the season. So for our final 9 games, we've got 6 home matches and 3 away games. That is crazy. Like, that is an insane amount. We've got Leganes at home, Sociedad at home, Betis, Atletico, and Real. We've got 4 consecutive home games in there. And then, obviously, Deportivo Alaves at the end of the season as well. This run of games here is huge. These next 4 matches could decide where we're going to finish. And then those last 3 matches too. It is, it's going to be interesting, it's fair to say, the way this season is finishing off. Our away performances still haven't really been there, but they've been against very, very good sides, to be honest. It's our home form that has really stepped things up. We've had 3 consecutive home victories, or is that 4? No. Yeah, it is 3 consecutive home victories. Against Valladolid, against Villarreal, and against Levante. So that, to me, is definitely a bonus. And also, I think that's 4 of our last 5 games at home have been victories too. And we've not actually conceded. We've 1 goal against them. None. Oh, that's a friendly. None. Okay, sure, it was there. But still, very good stuff. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have, despite the result, not a great one really, but what can you do? You're going to have them, of course. We are Huesca after all. Then drop a like on the video, that'd be gorgeous. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode for a massive, massive game at home against Leganes. Watch this be an even bigger banana skin than the Valladolid game. We need to win this one, and a win here would really, really start to set the ball rolling towards safety. See you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.